Hello everyone, it's Jennifer and I am back with another video. Today for you guys I'm going to do a tutorial, or this might even be a mini series inside the how to make CC series I already have, or playlist I already have on YouTube, but I'm going to do a more advanced way to make clothes. So this is going to be for beginners still, because I'm going to go just as in depth as I do in all my other tutorials, but I really want to show you guys how to make more realistic looking clothing. I really also want to thank everyone who's been really supportive of my channel. I have actually gained a pretty decent amount of subscribers in the past month, which is good for me. You know, it may not look like much to anyone else, but it really is good for me. It really lets me know that you guys are appreciating what I do and you guys are watching. And I've gotten plenty of comments thanking me for going this in depth with my tutorial series, and even just, some people ask me questions and I'm happy to answer. I'm happy to help if I can. Like I've said before, if you do have questions, it's best to send me a DM on Instagram, and my DMs are open, so I will definitely help. I've had people do that before, and I'll try to help you out as much as I can on there. In terms of this tutorial though, like I said, this is going to be for beginners still, but a way more advanced tutorial versus what I've done before. The tutorials I've done before, I followed the same format in the last 3, and then the tutorials before that were just super basic. But these tutorials that I'm going to start, or this tutorial today, is going to require a lot more in terms of the programs that you're going to need. It's going to require that it's going to require more time, most certainly. This can take all day if you let it. If you really don't know what you're doing, it can take all day. Once you kind of get the hang of it, it won't take all day necessarily, but if you're a perfectionist, kind of like how I try to be, I won't say I am a perfectionist, but I try to, get it to look a certain way, it could take you all day. Hopefully this tutorial will not take all day. I'm going to condense it down as much as possible for you. But I'm going to go ahead and just get straight into the things that we're going to need for this tutorial. And, yeah, so the first thing, of course, that we're going to need, that we always need in every tutorial I'm going to do anyway, is going to be the Sims 4 Studio. As you can see here, I already have 3 wedding dresses done, or almost done, or that I've been working on. And I'll post pictures of those because, surprise, surprise, I'm getting married, so I've been making wedding dresses. And that's actually what we're going to make in this tutorial. We're going to make a wedding dress. Or you can honestly make anything. You can follow this tutorial to make anything, but I'm going to make a wedding dress in this particular tutorial. So next, once we have that, we're going to need Marvelous Designer. And of course we need Marvelous to actually make the clothes. So this is where we're going to make the clothes. Once I finish showing you everything that we need, I'm going to show you the dress that I want us to make. So we're going to need that. Definitely important. And like I've said before, guys, with Marvelous, and actually a few of these things that you see down here that we're going to need, that I'm going to kind of explain here real quick, you can download the crack version, or what I like to call the crackhead version, because some of these things, when you download them the not so legit way, it can cause problems. And one thing I'm going to put out there right now, that I'm going to probably say a million times more during this video: save as you go, please. Whatever program you're in, whether you downloaded it legit or not so legit, save as you go, because if you don't, you will hate yourself later, especially if you are a super beginner in all of these programs. You're gonna hate yourself later if you do not save as you go, because if you have a crackhead version of some of these programs, they might start closing down at random times, which I'll tell you I have experienced, and you can take what you want to take from that. But I've experienced it happening where programs will close down. I've experienced legit programs that I've downloaded, extremely legit, closed down. So being that you know that that can happen, save as you go. Anyways, I don't want to get too off track. I just really want to put that out there, especially if you're doing it this advanced way, because one of these programs I have likes to kind of shut down sometimes without warning, and won't let you save if you haven't already. So there's that. Anyway, you're going to need Blender 2.79. This is the main blender we're going to use, so you're definitely going to need that. You're going to need Blender 2.70. You most certainly do have to have this blender in order to do the weight paint or weight transfer, because it doesn't work properly with the other ones for some reason. You're going to need a 2D photo editing software. Now for this, I'm going to definitely use GIMP, and I'm also going to definitely use Photoshop, which we all know is not free. Now this, I don't know of a crackhead version of this that you can download. I mean, you can look for it. I have never seen it. It may be something, but I don't know. This is definitely the paid version. And GIMP is free. Now, you can use Paint.net for a few things, but the thing is, Paint.net, since this is way more advanced than what we usually do, Paint.net may not be the best idea in this case to use, but you can use it for some things. In job, I use this to create my bump and normal maps. This is something that you're going to need if you're going to use this tutorial. It's free. It doesn't take up much space on your computer. It's very easy to use once you know what to do. Zbrush. Zbrush is the thing that we're probably going to need that's the most important for this advanced tutorial. Now, like I said before, you can download the crackhead version of Zbrush, or you can download the legit version of Zbrush. If you can, it's $19 a month. Right now, I don't have a job, so you can guess what I had to do. I'm trying to get one though, guys. But anyways, this is something we're definitely going to need for this tutorial, because this is where we're going to put a lot of our detail on. Also, we're going to need Substance Painter. This is also something that you're going to need for this tutorial. I'm going to use this to show you how to make realistic textures. I've never seen a tutorial that had this on there. Well, I've seen one. There's one that I saw. But as far as full tutorials, not speed tutorials, not none of that, full tutorials, I haven't seen anybody using Substance Painter. But if you really want a realistic texture, I'll say Substance Painter is the way to go. I love Substance Painter. I've learned how to do several things in Substance Painter, and I'm going to try to show you everything that I have learned today. And lastly, well, let's just see here. You're going to need, I'll show you that later. We're gonna, you don't have to have it. You don't have to have this, but something that I use that luckily my fiance bought me, because it made it a lot easier to work in ZBrush, is a graphics tablet. I'll put on the screen the one that I use. But this one, it don't matter if you use this one, another one. If you could just buy a cheap graphics tablet off Amazon, and there's plenty of tutorials on how to use it. But if you can just buy that, or if you can get one, I suggest to get one. You don't have to have one though. You can use your mouse for everything that I'm going to show you in this tutorial. I suggest having a graphics tablet only if you can afford it. If you think it'll make it easier for you, because when you're in ZBrush, and you'll see what I mean later, when you're trying to draw straight lines and really get the detail that you want exactly right, it's easier. And I am still new to this. Keep that in mind, guys. I just recently learned this method. And kind of tweaked it to the way that I wanted to do it. But you guys really, it's like I said, just, yeah, if you are in ZBrush and you're trying to really get the exact details that you want, having a graphics tablet will make it easier, but you do not have to have it. You can use your mouse for it. Anyway, the dresses. Now, this dress is a dress I've kind of already made. I think I already showed you guys the dresses anyway that I made already myself. The one we're going to make today is this one here, or something like it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be exact. We're going to try, because I'm not a pro. Like I keep telling you guys, I am really not that great. But whatever I do know, I'm going to try to help someone to learn as well. This is the dress that we're going to go ahead and make. Something similar to this. Like I said, it doesn't have to be this, because all this detail right up in here, I don't know about none of that. Anyway, I can make something that looks like this remotely. So yes, I might even make this sim, honestly. The girl that looks like this, she's pretty to me. Anyway, moving along, we're going to make this dress today in Marvelous Designer. So the next part, we're going to go ahead and jump into Marvelous Designer, and we're going to start trying to make this right here. Okay, y'all. So we are moving into the Marvelous Designer portion of the video. And believe it or not, this is my third time doing this. Honestly, I was trying to make, let me go back, this dress that I said I would make. Yeah, and I got this part, and this part all done. It looked great, but these straps are hell, and I'm not that great at Marvelous Designer, like I've said a million times before. And so screw this dress and this entire experience. So let's go to, we don't want to make that either. I mean, maybe I could, but no, we're doing this. We're going to make this dress. Still simple like I want it to be, but it's way easier to do. You might even be a little intimidated by the sleeves. Like, how do you do sleeves? Don't worry about it. We got it. We'll make it look decent enough like this. I might even try to add that train. I don't know. But what we're going to go ahead and do is make this in Marvelous Designer, or something like this, instead of that disaster I was working on before. Now, to get started in Marvelous Designer, as I've said before in the video, when you get in Marvelous, you'll notice the scrolling is backwards. In order to fix that, go up to Settings, User Settings, View Controls. Direction backwards, change that to forward. Close it out. Now we need a sim in here. So to do that, we go to File, Add Avatar. I'm going to use a female avatar for EA. I'll leave in the description all the avatars that I have available that you can use. I didn't make any of them, but I have them for you to download, which I always leave in the description. So I'll do that. And now let's zoom out and find our avatar. There we go. So there it is over here. Now to zoom in, we use our middle scrolly. To move around, we press our middle scrolly in and do that. To rotate, we click our right click and rotate. Over here, we just middle scrolly around and move in and out. That's how you move in Marvelous. Now let's start trying to make this, and hopefully this does not turn into a disaster. I've made something like this before, so I have a pretty clear idea of what I want to do. Anyways, since this dress has a high up waist, we're going to start with this, then the sleeves, then the bottom. So let's start with this part right here. To make that, we're going to go over here, click this polygon tool. Let's scroll in, and or you know what, to start off, we actually, and so I don't have to keep going back and forth, let's go ahead and long press this, click rectangle, make a rectangle over here. We're going to put Cheryl right here. How do I do that? Simple. This square, we made a square, go to wherever you put that, wherever you put Cheryl. Let me scroll down. Go over here, click and drag. Press OK. Now Cheryl is really small, so we need to make Cheryl bigger. We're going to go over here, press the picture, scale Cheryl up, and then just move Cheryl around. And just scale to your liking. Make Cheryl a little bit thinner. That's enough of Cheryl. Honestly, we just need her here so we can see what we're doing. And we can move Cheryl a little bit closer. We're going to move her farther away once we get done with her, but so we don't have to keep going back and forth to this picture. So honestly, at this point, we can go ahead and close that out. And then if you notice, Cheryl is also over here. We don't really care about Cheryl being over here because we don't really need to look at her over here since we have to make the clothes over here. So let's go ahead, go back, long press this rectangle, go to polygon. And the first part we're going to make is this right here where the breast part is. So pretty simple. Just start pressing points with your left click. Here, I'm going to say here. That's pretty low cut here. It's pretty high up. But let's do here, 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 and here. Very simple, but you'll notice, why is Cheryl and her whole background on my fabric, right? So we can move Cheryl's fabric or Cheryl's background off of your fabric. Let's go ahead and click this right here, the transform pattern. Let's click and drag, add, click and drag again, assign, delete this middle one. Now Cheryl is not on your fabric anymore. And I don't know what this woman's name is. I don't even know. Her face isn't even in the picture, but her name is Cheryl today. Anyway, so we have this portion. Now let's we can start editing it, or we could just go ahead and click this line right here. Fold symmetric edit with sewing. I have said that so many times, y'all, because I've done this way more than you know. But anyways, it's fine. We mess up, and that's okay. So let's go ahead and get the back. So let's copy, turn to the side. That makes it easier to paste. Hold on. Copy, paste. Then when we turn her around, we don't have too much to do. She's not all up here and all over there. So right now we're looking at the inside. To turn it right side out, we right click and click flip horizontally. Now we can start editing. Or let's say you want to edit the front and then do the back. We can just delete that for now, but now you know how to do that. But if you like it that way, you can do it that way. Like I said, you don't have to even make this dress. You can just make whatever you want and follow this tutorial for what I'm doing, not what I make. So let's go ahead and start editing. Now that we have the other half, I want to make some curves because as you can see, I mean, she's not it's not a front view, but you know there's a curve here. You can see this curve right here. You can see this curve here. Her arms have a curve. So let's go ahead and try to make this make this more like fitting to the body. So let's go ahead and kind of hit this right here. Let's click that and kind of move that inward a little bit. And we can still take this here and move it. No, Control Z to move that back into place. We can click this line and still kind of move it outwards, so so it won't start clipping. And we can kind of move this point inwards a little bit there. Could be a little better, but for now it's fine, because we have things to do. So let's see, how is it over here? Let's kind of pick this up a little. Whoops, wrong thing. But we can pick it up like that, and then we can go with this curve tool again and kind of curve it up a little, just a tad. I think I want to curve that. Do I want to curve it outwards? Do I want to curve it inwards? Just a little bit. We want to be very careful with how we do this. So I like that. And then we can go do what we did again earlier. Click this, right click, copy, turn it to the side, go ahead, paste. Turn it around, move it over just a little. Right click, flip horizontal. And honestly, we can pick this up a little bit too. Now, I like this a lot. I really like that a lot. I love how that comes up that far. It's kind of like, yeah, shortens the torso region. Let's just move this over. So since I like that a lot, I'm going to go ahead, click this middle point, shift, click this middle point, and kind of drag up just not too much, you know, I don't want to do too much. And when we make the skirt, we'll make it so that it will fit with that. I don't know what the back of this looks like. I would imagine it doesn't have this in the back. So we're going to make this line here go up. So we're going to go ahead and honestly, we can Control Z to undo that. We're going to try to straighten out this line. It's not completely straight, but we want to straighten it out as much as we can. And I'm sure there's a, no, I don't want to do that. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, y'all, but, oh Lord. This is the way I'm going to do it. Yeah, because that looks crazy. This is why, y'all, it can be really good to know the right time. There we go. So if you missed what I did, let's Control Z. I used this right here, this point, and I made a point on it to kind of straighten it out. And then I pulled it up like that. So let me go back. And to go back, if you missed a part and you want to go back, go to history, and it has your whole history there. So now that the top is more straight, and it didn't have to be completely straight because I doubt it's completely straight back there anyway. Honestly, we could start with the sleeves, or we can simulate this and see what we got so far. So in order to do that, let's go ahead and start sewing. In Marvelous Designer 9 or up, you can sew over here. I think 9 or up, could be 8 or up, but I had 7 before and I couldn't do it. So I have 9, and that's why I like 9 so much. I don't know what the fuck I just did that for. Excuse me. Anyway, go ahead, grab your sewing. It's going to be this right here with the 2 dots. Grab that. Go ahead. You can do it over here. And you see whatever happens over here happens over here. But I want to do it over here. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. Press this line here. Press this line here. Okay, we need to press this here and press this here. And since we turned on symmetric editing with sewing, whatever you sew over here gets sewed over here. Don't worry if you simulate this and it looks ridiculous. But actually, this is looking a lot better than what I had going on before y'all got here. So that's not that bad. we'll fix that in a moment. We'll fix that. It'll make it a lot better. But let's go Control Z to undo that. Let's go ahead and make the sleeve. Now, making a sleeve, I used to really suck at making sleeves until I figured out a better way to do it. It's not that hard. Go ahead, get you a point here. Make you a point here. We can edit this later. Let's see. We can do it about this long. I want these sleeves to kind of be fitting. There. Do what I just did. Make those points to make this trapezoid kind of look in shape. And it's going to be over here. Now, sleeves, that would be one side. So as you see, this trapezoid, if you will, you know, we need another trapezoid. So, and this might not be a trapezoid, y'all. I think it is. Anyway, grab this right here. Click here on this line. Right click. Just do unfold for the sleeves, y'all, because yeah. Now we can begin to make this curve this, or we can go over here and curve it the way we want it, since we're not turning on symmetric editing. There, and then we can add a curve point here and make that come down. So this is what we have now, and I like that. That's very fluid, very elegant and simple looking. So now let's go ahead and grab the edit pattern tool with the 3 dots, click this line, unfold. Because if you unfold with symmetric editing, it might try to, let's turn on with symmetric editing, because we can just turn it off later if we need to. Now let's turn this every which way we can to try to make this, oh Lord, y'all, to try to fit it with the arm. This is the part that I wish was a little bit easier to do in Marvelous, and it probably is, and I'm probably just a doofus and I'm doing this wrong. Anyway, we got to make it fit like that and then bring it over on top of the arm, y'all. Pretty simple, you know? Pretty simple. Now, let's start the sewing. And since we got symmetric editing on, let's see if this sews right. We're going to sew this to here. And as you see, it's not right. So let's go ahead and turn that off. Control Z, just like I thought it would. Click and go to remove linked editing. That's how you turn it off. I knew it wasn't going to be right. Click here and click here. Click here and click here. It might have been better to do this afterwards, but let's just see. Let's see if it does what we want. It does. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter at all. Okay, and then of course we want the sleeves to be sewn here. And come on, y'all. Here and here. There we go. And then simulate. I actually like that sleeve already. We can, but you see her sleeve is more fitted to her body, not like that. If you like it like that, go right on ahead. But if you don't, then let's edit this sleeve and then we'll make another one and put it on there. So that way we don't have to just be sitting up here looking crazy. Let's see. It's kind of capping. And if you don't want that cap sleeve effect, go ahead and with the edit pattern tool and just kind of, you know, bring it down a little bit. There we go. I like that. It's much more fitted like hers, like Cheryl. Now, want to put the other arm on. Go over here, click, left click, right click, copy. Go over here, right click, mirror paste. And just as close as you can get it. There. Sometimes it'll snap on automatically because it knows what you're trying to do. Sometimes it won't. Anyways, grab the sewing machine, sew here, here, turn it around, here, here, there. And you see there's a hole in it. Now remember guys, when you simulate, this turns into a grab hand, so you can grab that hole out. We'll tweak it later to kind of really remove that. But now we want to create the skirt. In order to do so, you see we got this mermaid effect here. Let's move Cheryl over a little bit because we're going to need her to be out the way for the space we need for this skirt. Go ahead and grab the polygon tool again. And honestly, I'm going to just start here, because we want it to match. Let's bring it down to the floor. Let's bring it down to here and then we can tweak it later. Because hers is touching the floor, but we can just kind of I don't like that. We can fix it in a moment because that looks a hot damn mess, and I know it does. Let's grab this, click this, delete. We can delete that one too. Let's grab this curve point tool, go curve line tool, and just curve it. Let's grab this. No, Control Z to get it put back in the right spot. Let's grab this here and bring that up some. And then let's take this and bring it out a little bit more. Now we can go ahead and grab this tool again, forward symmetric editing. Same as we did earlier, copy. We don't need to mirror paste it, y'all, never mind. Copy, paste, flip horizontally. Let's start the sewing. So we need to sew this. We need to sew this, but it's not registering that we want to sew that part. So we're just gonna press something and then start over. Here and here. And we have symmetric editing on, so it's doing it over here, here, and here. And then we need to sew here, and here, here, and here. There. Let's simulate, just see what we got. We're looking a decent amount like Cheryl, y'all. We're looking a lot like Cheryl. But we're looking a lot not like Cheryl too, y'all. So let's begin to tweak this. And honestly, the reason why this is simulating slow is because Cheryl is over there on the floor doing nothing. We can honestly delete Cheryl if you want. Or if you still need the reference, you can keep her there. But I think I see what I need to do. First of all, what we need to do is go over here, click and drag, go over to particle distance. Down here, property editor, simulation properties, particle distance. Usually I have it at 16, 18. For this method, we're going to go to 14 and then simulate. That will get rid of a lot of the holes. Okay. Now, if you're fine with this, then congratulations. I'm gonna, let's see, reset 3D arrangement. And for some reason it goes over there. I don't know why. And it's not just the crackhair version that does that. I learned that too. I think it's the full version too, that it'll go somewhere else when you reset. Like, see, this went way back here. We don't need that. So click it. Let's do that. Let's leave the one in the front up some and just bring this one all the way down to the floor and spread it out. Because as you can see with Cheryl, it's still to the floor, but let's just simulate that and see what we can come up with now. Okay. I'm kind of okay with it not having that whole circle thing going on. If you want that circle feel going on, there's a way to get that. But honestly, I like this. And to get the circle, you go to ellipse, make a circle. And before I do this part, let me save this. File, save as, project. And like I've said before, don't laugh at any of these names because they're probably stupid. But yeah, let's go ahead. This is the one I was working on earlier. You can see that was Sheba right there on the floor. But we're gonna go ahead and do wedding dress 7. Lucky number 7. And I'm really liking how this is turning out. Okay, now that we've saved it, I can show you what I mean. Delete. Delete. And you don't have to do it this way. But this is a way to do it if you want to do it like a little bit differently. Do it, make it go so that it's like that. Kind of try to center it. Then you're going to need to make a hole eventually. This is going to need to be bigger. So just take this, click on it, and scale it. And then go ahead and go back around. And yeah, just try to get her in the middle as much as you can. And it doesn't have to be completely flat. Anyway, like I said, this is not even the one I want to go with. I'm going to go back to what I had before, but I'm just showing you how you can do it if you want more of that circular flowy type of thing, if you catch what I'm trying to say. Anyway, now go over here and turn on ellipse. Draw a circle about the size of her. You can center it, move it around a little bit. It's not gonna let you, yeah, you probably need to make it a little bigger. Oh, that's fine. I guess that's fine. Go ahead and make that a hole. So right click, convert to hole. Good enough. Now, to get that V part, let's go ahead with the polygon tool again. And just so that I can try to speed this up. This curve it again like we did the last time. Take this point here, bring it out. Bring this like this. Okay, copy, paste, position it, flip horizontally. Okay, now is where we can sew all this together and even see what we come up with, because we might not even, I don't know, we might not even use this one. If it looks good enough, if it looks like Cheryl enough, I'll use it, but we're more than likely not going to use this. So here and here. Oh my gosh. Come on. Yeah, this is the part that I hate, when Marvelous really starts just tweaking out and not wanting to sew lines. Oh my god. This is the part of Marvelous Designer that drives me up the wall. Then we have to do it over here. Oh god. Y'all, this part, I'm gonna speed through this a little bit. Okay, that looks really good actually. I just forgot to do that. Oh, and I guess I forgot to do this one too. like that actually quite a bit. So I think we will go with this one, y'all. I really do. Wait, how long have I been recording this? I don't know. This is probably about an hour. Because I'm actually trying to make something look like something else. Anyway, we need to fix this circle though. And let's do reset 3D arrangement. Okay, now that I have this position the way that I want it, I'm going to delete all this sewing and then re-sew this together the way I want it to be. That's going to make this look a whole lot better. Okay, now hopefully Marvelous doesn't annoy me this time with the sewing. Okay, looks like it's not. Okay, let's go ahead and grab this because as I said, Cheryl's is more like it has a train. I guess I should have just said it has a train a long time ago and that would have made this way easier to understand what the hell I'm talking about. It's a little weird looking, but let's simulate it and see what we get. Honestly, I kind of am ready to delete Cheryl because I really think Cheryl is what's making my simulation go like this. But I like that. Yes. Okay, y'all. I mean, really, we've made Cheryl at this point. Like I said, and just go select all again. Go to 14 for all of it. That's important. Simulate that. And that really makes a difference. Let's go ahead and delete Cheryl. Cheryl has been made. At this point, we could just kind of tweak it to however we want it to be, but Cheryl has been made. Maybe that neckline can be tweaked. But otherwise, this is cute. I really like this. And this it would have been a lot easier if we had done it like this. So whether you liked it like the first one better or you like this one better, either one is fine. It's really up to you, you know, the way we did it at first. So I basically just showed you 2 different ways to make this dress. Let's get up under here and really try to bring this train out. Oh boy, what have I done? I hate this slow simulation. I really do. Let's get up under here and just drag this out a little bit. But yeah, this is really the last part that's like the most crucial right now. Just dragging this out, making this actually look like a train. And like I said, guys, this is why I say this is a more advanced way, because otherwise, the way I normally make clothes, I wouldn't even be trying to do all this right here. I really want this to be dragged out as far as I possibly can. To look like a decent train. You can be like me and really try to fix this, because this is, I just want it to look right in the game. I don't want it to be up in the game and it just look crazy, you know? And here's where you really want to save this. Save project again. Okay. The train. I could use a little bit of work, but it's alright. Let's see. What if I just Okay, guys, so I know this has been a long one. It's been a while. But as you can see, I was just sitting there tweaking the dress to kind of match this and kind of match what I want. The neckline, I'm still kind of iffy about. I might tweak that some more. But basically, you can see we've made this dress. If you did not make this dress, you made something else, that's perfectly fine. If you were trying to follow along with me when I was fasting forward, don't, because I'm probably, I mean, you can, but it wasn't anything important that I hadn't already showed you how to do that I was doing. We can actually delete that now. Yeah. So this is basically a done dress. The last thing I might do, I might change the color. It's a wedding dress, so yeah, it could be white. I like the kind of off-white look of a wedding dress, so I'm gonna make it a little, I don't want it to be completely white, maybe just a little bit off-white. It doesn't really matter because I'm gonna change the color later, but anyways. So this part is done. I think I like that neckline. Then again, I'm not so sure. That's good. Yes, I think that's enough cleavage. That is enough cleavage. I don't want it to show, parts that ain't probably got no business showing. Excuse me. So yeah, there's no holes in it. Again, I'm gonna just check and make sure. Yep, it's all the same. Okay, and now normally I would tell you to go over here to the UV editor and make sure all of this is right, but this time it really doesn't matter because we're not, when you do what I'm about to do in Zbrush, you lose this anyway and you have to make a new one. So let's go over here to File, save it regularly, File, let's go to Export OBJ. There's all of this crap. I think I'm on 03 wedding dress, so I'm gonna go to 04 wedding, 04 wedding. Undo, select all avatars. I do weld for this one, for this particular method, do weld. Single object, then UV coordinates, include internal shape, M. And then let's see, make sure to do M. X, Y, up, Z. Make sure it's X, Y, up, Z, or else it'll be sideways or upside down or something. And then this is fine. And then no, press OK. And so the next part, we're going to be get into Zbrush, and I'm going to show you what to do from there. Okay, guys, so we have finished making our mesh, or making the clothing portion of our mesh in Marvelous Designer, and we are moving on to Zbrush. Now, since I'm in the middle of recording this, I'm not sure if I'm going to split this up or not. So you may be watching this in the video right after Marvelous Designer, or you may be watching this in a whole other video. I could just put all of this together. It'll be 4 hours long. But anyways, moving on. So we're in Zbrush, however this is being recorded or put together. We are in Zbrush now. Now this is the part where I was telling you guys, if you can get a graphics tablet, get a graphics tablet. If you cannot, it's perfectly fine. I will be using a graphics tablet because my lovely fiance decided to buy it for me. And I'll be using a graphics tablet because it's going to be a lot easier as we're trying to put the details on this dress. Now, this is what it looks like. It's complicated, guys, kind of moving around in ZBrush, but you'll get it. It's not like any other program. I know I say that every time we go into a new program. It's not like any other program. So this portion right here, I'm going to tell you how to import your mesh and specifically how to move around. And then we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and go press this button that says Lightbox. That'll get rid of that box. Lightbox is this box here. So press that to get rid of that. Go over here to import. Find your mesh that you just had. So mine was called 04 Wedding. Whenever this pops up, I just press no because I don't know what the hell that means. I see, like I told you guys, I'm not a pro, but I can show you how to do this for the Sims. Just put no. Say no to drugs. Anyways, click on your dress or whatever you made. Click on it. You can click on it here, it doesn't matter. With your left mouse, press it down in this empty space, drag it out. Get it as straight as you can, it doesn't really matter. Now go over here and click draw. Draw is already going to be done. Click edit. You have to click edit. Now go over here and click frame right here. Frame. Click this blue part right here to straighten it up. But this is our dress. Now, let me show you how to move around. The default, and I'm pretty sure you can change this, this is on my graphics tablet or on my mouse. For this part, I'm just using the mouse. I'm not going to use my graphics tablet until I start actually putting details. But either way, it's the same thing. Before we even do anything else, I told y'all I got the crack hair version of this program. Let's go ahead and open the save file. Zbrush products, project, not products. Let's go ahead and put wedding dress 4. Oh God, caps lock is on. Wedding dress 4. We're gonna do that a lot. If your mesh disappeared after you saved it, that's fine. Just click your left click and it'll show up again. Let's see. That's fine. All I did was go back. All we're doing is the undo history. Up here is the undo history. I don't know when I ever did that. And like I said, it could just be because I have the crackhead ass version of this shit. Excuse my French, but that's that's what I have. And hopefully if I get a job soon, hopefully I do, then I can actually purchase the legit one and I can actually do this the right way. But for now, we're gonna just go forward. Now, how to move around. In order to move your mesh around, rotate it. It's gonna default to rotate. Use your left click and that's gonna rotate it. You can rotate it here and here and here and here. Say if you're a doofus like me and you rotate it some way and you cannot get it to go back, which I've kind of mastered at this point, getting it to go back straight. But say you all screwed up. You just got it all like that. Oh shoot, I can't get it. Press this button. Go up here, press this blue thing here. That'll turn it straight forward and press frame again. If you want to zoom in, this is the part, y'all. I'm still having trouble with this. Press Alt and your right click to move around. If you want to zoom in, stop pressing Alt. So to start, I know this is going to sound crazy. Let's frame it again so we can get that understanding again. Alt right click part to move around the frame. Okay. Say I want to get up here to the boob part, but I want to zoom in. We're going to press Alt and right click, but we're going to keep our finger on right click, take our finger off of Alt. See, it really can be tricky. But there it goes, finally. And I've learned how to do this with my graphics pencil, but this is how it goes. I'm gonna turn it back straight again. Let's try that again. So Alt and right click, moving it around, let go of Alt, and you get to zoom in and out. I know it sucks, it's stupid, it doesn't make any sense, but that's how to move around in ZBrush, y'all. So press frame again, or say you don't want to do that. You can go over here, put your mouse over rotate, it'll rotate. Put your mouse over zoom, it'll zoom. But, you know, you can see where the problems could arise with that eventually. Put your mouse over frame, it'll frame, and of course press frame. Put your mouse over move, and it'll move. That's the ways that you can move with the ways that I told you at first by using the keyboard and then the mouse, or you can just go straight over here and do it. This is easier, but like I said, you could probably see where problems could start with that. And then frame it again. Even though I haven't done anything, click undo history and then save as, because what that's going to do is for the project itself, that means that when you open this up, after you close this out, when you open this up again, include undo history with save project. That means if you made tweaks and squeaks on it, but you save it or it closes down, but you were able to save it before, you can go back and undo things that you did to it before. Always click that in ZBrush. Now that we have the basics done, this is the part where I really start showing you guys what to do. Don't mind me, I'm just shoveling papers around on my desk. So anyways, what you need to do next is go over, well, first thing we need to do, when we open this up, pretend we just opened it up, we pressed edit, and we pressed frame. Next thing we need to do is go to poly groups right here. And over here with your left click, you just move this screen up and down with your left click. Poly groups. It's not going to make an arrow. It's not going to make a hand. It's just going to show you this like a, you see my green mouse over here. It's just going to do that. Auto groups with UV. Click that. It's going to look like nothing happened. That's fine. Next thing you need to do is go over here, press poly F. Press it. Now you can press line. That'll get rid of the lines. You can press fill. That'll get rid of those colors. But we want all of that right now. Go over here. Now this is dark. You can leave it as this. Sometimes I can use any of these. Sometimes I like to use this one. Sometimes I like to use this one or this one. Honestly, I think right now I'm going to use this one. No, I don't like that. No. Matte cap white, just plain old white. Or sometimes you could use matte cap pearl, but you see that adds that kind of a pearly texture. You can matte cap white. Yeah, it just honestly, I like this one because it's a little lighter. But now once you do that, there's some other things we have to do before we can start drawing on here. We've changed the color of it so we have a better view, but now we need to go to the Z remesher. And so we're going to go over here to geometry. We're going to go over here to Z remesher. In order to see what the active amount of polys are, go in this empty space and double click. 23,685. We want this to look better than it looks now, so we need to have more poly. Go over here, press keep groups. I turn mine down to 0. You can turn it to 0. Honestly, I haven't noticed a difference yet with turning it from 0 to 1, but you know, there's a lot in between 0 and 1, but I haven't noticed too much of a difference myself. I just usually push 0. Target poly count, it said 20, I think it said 23. I just looked at it, y'all, but 23. Let's just say that's 24. I want to take this up to 30. Let's take it up to 30. So we got smooth groups, 0, keep groups. We got the target poly count at 30. I turn my adaptive size down to 30. And I turn my curves to 60. What this adaptive size is going to do is going to basically adaptive size. You can kind of guess from that means how much is it going to adapt to the settings you chose. I don't want it to get too out of bounds with the settings that I chose, because if you have it up higher or too much higher than that, what I have personally noticed is that if you press poly count 30, it might adapt to poly count 50 because it's got that much leg room to wiggle around and choose what it kind of wants to choose in a way. Like I said, I'm not a pro at this, but that's what I've noticed from making these this way so far. Anyways, go ahead and press Z remesher. And it's going to take a little while. You're going to notice it's at the top. That's perfectly fine. And see how smooth that became. Let's go ahead and turn the lines off and let's save it. I'm so serious, y'all. If you have the crackhead version like me, save your mesh as you go. But you see how that got smoother. Just comparison. This is what we had before. Kind of very, the polys were triangulated instead of like quadratic like this, like quadrilateral. Quads, fours, squares, rectangles, that, as you can see. And as we turn that, if we turn that back on, you can see squares, not triangles. Squares look better. Go ahead and turn it off. Now what we need to do, because for this particular tutorial, we're making a high poly and a low poly mesh, okay? So this is not about to be what we did before. We just make one mesh and then do, you know, the LODs going down. we'll do the LODS. You still have to do LODS, but this is different from what we used to do. Just one mesh, put it in Blender, put it on our, you know, blend doll, and then put it in S4S. No, we're going to do it a little different. We're going to make our high poly first. And what that means, you can see it's at 26. I actually might do that again. I think I'm going to Z-remesh again because I wanted to get a little bit closer to 30. But I'll see how it looks afterwards. We'll see what it looks like. Let's see, does that look any different? It looks a little better, I guess. It's got 27. That's fine. That's fine. I don't want it to get too out of hand with me. So honestly, I'm kind of noticing a slight difference. But shoot, I kind of like this one more, especially for the skirt. That's fine. Let's go over here. What we need to do now is, like I said, we need to make the high poly version. So we need to go ahead and press subdivide. We need to subdivide the mesh. You could do Control D or you could press divide. I prefer to press the actual button. Divide it until you'll see what I mean. You see that? Now let's rotate it and make sure that it's not coming apart. Because the other day, sometimes, if you've done this and you notice your mesh is coming apart, there's two things you probably didn't do. You probably didn't put it as weld when you exported it in Marvelous Designer, or you may not have sewn it correctly in Marvelous Designer. Now, if it's a third reason, you've done both of those and there's a third reason, I have no clue because it did that to me the other day and I don't know what I did wrong. Anyway, we only divided it once, so I'll go back. As you can see, this is what we had. Let's recenter that. And we pressed divide once and got this. We could press divide again. Let's see what our poly count is. 428,000. That's not bad. Let's divide it one more time, see what we can get. Let's go down here. Go to display properties. Scroll up a little bit and press double. And that's just going to let us see the back and the front at the same time. So we don't sit up here with one. The normals are showing basically. So let's flip it over, see what we look like on the back. Looks good to me. File, save as, save. What I hate is that it doesn't have just a save. But that's fine. I like this look. I like how this looks. This looks good to me. So, yeah, I'm going to leave the fill on because I need to know where those groups are at. Because we're going to start tracing and outlining like along the sides, along the sleeve line, along the front, this part here. I really want that indentation there. So this part is going to be very, I guess, just as strenuous as the Marvelous Designer part, if not more. Now, the next thing that we can go ahead and do now that we have our high poly ready, and again, that has that much, you can honestly subdivide this from here to high heaven and just but it doesn't make any sense to do. It doesn't make any sense. It looks perfectly fine this way. Let me just go back. Okay, good. Now is where we can start drawing. Now I'm going to pick up my pencil for my graphics tablet. Lightbox. Brush. Now, some of these brushes I have downloaded. And I'm going to leave a link in the description for the ones that were, well, I'll leave a link in the description for all of them. Some were free, some were not. And the brush I'm going to choose. Let's see, where do I want to start first? Get an idea of where you want to start. So, let's go ahead. I really want to get up close. No, that's not what I meant to do. Yeah, so let's choose what we want to do. Do I want this to come out? Or do I want this to like go in? Let's go back real quick. Let's look at Cheryl again. Let's let's really, oh God, let's really look at Cheryl. Like I said, this is not exact. I put darts in it after I finished showing y'all the Marvelous Designer part. But the thing is, it doesn't matter if you put the darts in there or not, probably because you can't tell in ZBrush. We could draw on the darts, which is what I think I'm going to do, because I kind of like how that looks. But it's like, I'm trying to see if that's kind of going in or going out. Let's go over here to back to ZBrush. And the one I'm going to choose, which I'm going to tell you right now, the ones I'm about to use are not free. They were $4, but I'm going to put them in the description box. If you're willing to pay $4, these are really some great like brushes to have. Let's see. Do I want to use that one or that one? Let's try this one. We can always go back. I haven't done anything, so I don't know why I'm saving it, but I want the draw size to come way down. I want the focal shift. Let's put it at about 60 should be fine. And with the graphics tablet, this is going to be, yeah, as y'all can see, I don't like that. Okay. Let's see. Do I need the draw size to come up? A little bit. Yes, I do. Okay. Let me just use the undo button on here. Oh my God. There we go. Now, I'm gonna start on this side. Let's go ahead. Let's go to I think it's transform active symmetry. So what that means is that if we start, let's rotate this, which it might not even be that symmetrical, but we're gonna try. If we start right here, y'all catch my drift now, right? So that's what we do when we turn on active symmetry. It makes whatever happened on one side happen on the other side. And now that I can kind of see, let's, I don't know if I want to frame it or not. I think I want that to come out. I keep going back and looking at Cheryl because I really wanted to get as close as possible to this gown. I really like this gown. It's very simple. I wouldn't wear this as a wedding dress, I don't think. I wear this though. This is cute and this kind of would match my body type. Let's see. That's going in there. So if I draw these darts on, that's going inwards. That's going inwards. This is kind of coming out though, if you kind of see that perspective there. So let's go ahead and make this shit full screen again. If you accidentally do that, just press tool and it'll come back. Let's undo what we just did. And let's go over here to the light box again. As far as the brush I'd like to use, probably none of these will be it. So let's go back to brush. I have some other brushes, but I'm not. Like there's these stitches, there's these stitches, there's those. Smooth, which I don't. There's the wrinkle brushes. I'm gonna use these, but just not now. Those I forget where I got some of these from. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Probably gonna use which one? They're about the same. Honestly, something's telling me to use this one. So let's go ahead and again, if you have a graphics pencil and you have a right click button, I believe that should get you to, or if you have like a space, it's like I'm gonna press this space button, hold that down. Hold down the space button on your graphics tablet and change this. No, I don't need to change that. I need to change this. Definitely needs to change. This definitely needs to change. I need this. Or you could just do it up here like I've been doing it. No, focal shift needs to be. Intensity though, that can go up to about 50. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see. I like that intensity. Let's start. I'm all offline. I don't know. I don't like that. That needs to be smaller. Let's make that draw size go down. Again, guys, you don't. I might fast forward through some of this because you probably don't want to just see me sitting here fighting with Zbrush all day. So. And it don't have to be perfect because, like I said, this is still a beginner tutorial because I'm a beginner myself, y'all. So I'm just gonna get the mouse real quick and save it again. I say save it after every profound thing you've done. So if you do something and you really think, oh, this is really great, yeah, save it. Okay, now let's go ahead and oh shoot, what the hell? What in the girl? No ma'am. Let me see what the hell this son did. What the? See, this is why I say save your stuff. Okay, y'all. So as you saw there, I had to close it and open it again because I don't know what the hell happened. Zbrush, the crackhead version of Zbrush gives me the most problems out of any program I have on my computer. But it's not bad enough to where I'll delete it. Because it's really not that terrible most of the time. Anyway, but yes, we made that part right there. Thanks to our nice red tail and our nice, whatever the hell it is that I'm trying to say. Oh, no, undo. Our nice, we have to do that twice to get it that way. Anyway, we're going to do it around the back too. I sometimes don't put as much detail into the back as I could, but hopefully that ends today. Okay. There. No, so back to my box. The brush is, I think that's what I have. I have. Yeah, that's right on there. And we have the brush size again. And fold like this. Let's see. I got to really else. Shoot, I like it. No, it's way better than that one. Yeah, we can turn that fold. Like, we turn that size. Down. I think the intensity was almost it. Stroke. Lazy mouse. Yeah, 60. There we go. I wish I could. That's more like this one. It's just the formula size again, so we're not about to. Go to file and we're gonna go to save as again. And I'm pretty sure there's a way we can just quickly save it. I've tried pressing Control S and it still goes to save as instead of just saving. So it's fine. I'm really fine with that at this point. I just want to. Okay. Looks good on the front and back. No, I don't like that at all. Let's do it from this way like we did on the last one. Okay, so we have both of the sides done at the top. Now guess what else we need to do? Probably these. Let's see. How does that look? Is it more fluid in the actual picture? Because if so, we won't do it. Yeah, you can't really tell. But the sleeves are definitely. Maybe we won't do it. We'll probably create some sort of dart or some line right there, though. Yeah, we probably didn't even have to do that part. But I want you to see what it looks like in the game, though. So that's pretty fluid. I still might do it myself in my own time. Anyway, as you can see, I'm just drawing on it. You don't really need any direction on how to draw on this thing. I mean, now that you know how to use the brushes or how to choose the brushes and change the intensity and all of that, so you can honestly skip to the end of this portion, or skip a little further along to see where I'm at, or you can just follow along with me and continue to watch me mess up. Okay, so I'm a little further along. I put the darts back. I kind of like them where they are right there. I like that quite a bit, actually. Now, if I want to put, do I want to put, I don't know if I want to put darts on this part, because these ones were hard enough to get, but I'm going to go ahead and create some detail right here, some detail here, and some detail here. In order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and go to the light box, brushes. Let's put the wrinkles on there. Now, do I really want that detail around the arm? Let's see. I guess I could. It wouldn't hurt it. Okay, yeah, that actually turned out really good. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with this. I think I'll add a few wrinkles to the back maybe. And sorry for the constant speeding, but I'm really trying to condense this down as much as possible. It's a lot to this type of tutorial. I really want you to get the gist of what I'm doing, explain it thoroughly enough so that you can do it yourself, or you can slow it down. But I can quick save. Hold on. Press the what? Press hold. Press and hold escape. Escape key to abort. Oh, okay, nothing. Huh. Y'all, I can quick save. I done figured out how to quick save, y'all. Quick save is up here. Okay. Anyway, let's go back to the wrinkles because I have a few more wrinklies to add. Kind of want this part to be a little more. Yeah, I'm gonna like that a lot. I like that a lot. Don't want to put any regulation right here. No, not. No, I don't. Not. Well, do I? I kind of like that. Maybe let's turn the intensity down. And let's kind of. Man, this is meant to be a sleek count though. I like what we have here. I like the front. I like the back. I like the sleeves. I like this. So y'all, we're finally done. I have it the way I want it. Like I said, you don't have to put that much detail into this. This is still for beginners, but it is more advanced. And as you can see, it's definitely more advanced than the last tutorial, if you've seen any of my other tutorials. But now we're done. So we can do a quick save. Yeah, now go ahead. First, before we do that, we're going to save this or export it. That's what I'm trying to say. We're going to export this. Go ahead and export. Zbrush projects. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, for a wedding, high poly. Save this one as high poly because we're about to make the low poly. Now duplicate. Go to this one. Go down to Z remesher or geometry, and then go down to Z remesher. Keep groups smooth. How many do I really want this to be? Eight. Let's see, when I add the body mesh to it, that'll be about. Let's turn it on 13. We can still leave that at 30 and that at 60. Now let's go ahead and press Z remesher. See what we get. It's going to take a while. As you can see up here, press escape to abort. We don't want to abort this process. We want to keep this. Shoot, I'm starting not to like that. Kind of wish I had made it go inward, but it's fine. It's fine. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. If I need to go back and do it again myself on my own time, I will, but this is really for this tutorial, which is already taking too long. So we're still just waiting for this, and it's taking a long time because it's got to go down quite a bit. So when it goes down, we'll see what it looks like. Do I like that, y'all? I don't know. That's 12,000 polys. That's not bad. Before a dress, it can be a little higher. That's not bad. What's going to happen is, it's okay because this is the one we're going to put in Blender, but it'll be fine because we're going to put all of that back. We're going to smooth this out in Blender, and then we're going to put all the details back through Substance Painter. So I think if I can Z remesh it again, I'll go back and maybe go to 17,000. I don't mind a dress being 17,000. Then when I add the body mesh in there, that'd be about 20 something. That doesn't bother me. I'm fine with that. If you're not fine with that and you know your game can't handle it, let's just pretend like our game can't handle it. That's fine. Then this is fine. This is fine then. We're going to go ahead and just go with this one. And we're going to go ahead and go to Z plugin, UV master. This is imperative. This is imperative that you do this because otherwise you're not going to have a UV when you get in Blender. So you got to go to Z plugin, like I said, UV master, poly groups, unwrap. Let it load. Z plugin, flatten. And this looks very similar to what it would look like in Marvelous Designer, except I don't know what the hell that disaster is right there, but that's what it gave us. And that's fine. That's fine because, yeah. Now let's go back to unflatten. That's good. Now go ahead and export this one as your low poly. So let's go to export right here. Oh, for a wedding, high poly. We're gonna go to high ploy. You knew what I meant. Low ploy. Oh my God, if I could type, that would be great. So, I know you're probably so happy to hear this, guys. We are done with ZBrush. Like I said, you probably noticed a lot of fasting forward, but you didn't miss anything. You really did not, because there were parts where I was really just over here fighting with ZBrush, fighting with myself, fighting with my graphics tablet, and you didn't want to hear all that and see all that. So this is the finished product for ZBrush. Next, we're going to move into Sims. Okay, so this is probably going to be the shortest part of this entire video because this is a very, very simple part. We are in Sims 4 Studio. If you've never been in Sims 4 Studio, go ahead and put in your creator name, make something up, make it creative. Go ahead and go to Cast and then go to Create 3D Mesh. Click Cast now. This is what it's going to look like when you first pull up. We don't want hats, so we don't want men. So we're going to go female, age, adult, part type, clothing, body. We need to get two things from here right now. We need to get a reference and we need to get a nude. The nude, there is no nude. Unfortunately, there is no nude for full body outfits for, I don't think, men or women or children or anybody in this game. So what we need to do is go over here. We need to use the lingerie. The reason we use the lingerie is because this is not even a mesh, really. It's really just a body with some painted on clothing. And I'm going to save this in here. I'm going to save it as Johnnie Lee MJ wedding dress. And this is where you're actually saving the name of your package. So if you want to upload this for other people to download or whatever, this is what you name your actual clothing or the name of your actual package. And as you see, I'm going to call it Johnnie Lee MJ wedding dress 4. And then we're going to let that load up, go to meshes, LODS 0, export mesh. And I have a Blender file that I'm going to export it to, which is nude body. Remember where you're saving this stuff at, guys. I suggest you get organized. I really do. If you're not already, if you're making CC, it gets very messy sometimes. So then go back to main menu once that finishes. Now we need to find a mesh similar to what we just did to do our weight paint. We could do this one, which I might. I don't think it's given me problems before. Usually the one I use though is this. This never has given me any problems using this one. We could try this one because sometimes when I'm trying other things that may actually look closer to what I have, it doesn't work. But let's try this. Let's try. I think, is this their Princess Leia dress? Looks like it. Let's try that. And I'm going to, it doesn't matter what you name this one because you don't need this. Let's go ahead and go to furniture. Lord, I'm all over the place. I have package files. Let's just say this is ref 3. That's fine. I don't care. I think this is the Princess Leia dress. If it's not, this is the Ursha board at the church dress. That's what we're going to call this. So we're going to go ahead and do export. Export that. I hope you guys are still with me because if you're not, I really don't blame you. But this is really, I don't even want to say advanced, but this is really a lot of moving parts to this. Anyway, export. Hopefully this mesh does not screw us over, guys, later. I'm praying it doesn't and I don't have to redo this part. So Blender files, again, ref 3, save. And for now, what I suggest you do is go back to your actual mesh where the mesh is going to be. Go ahead and at least, I'm going to do this because that's going to make my life easier later when I try to actually see if this is working before I start putting the colors on here. So you can go ahead and do this. And then go over here to shadow, make blank, specular, make blank, normal, make blank. We'll refill those later, or most of those later, or some of those later. Anyway, there's nothing on emission, so don't worry about that. Then save. You can actually close that for right now. And that is it right now for Sims 4 Studio. Next, we're going to go ahead and open up Blender 2.79. Okay, kids, so we are now in Blender 2.79. Now, you may be tired of doing this already because I'm tired of doing it myself, but that's okay because we want nice clothes. So, let's go ahead and get started. This part, it doesn't take that long, but what I'm probably going to do before this part, or in the middle of this part, or probably right after I say these words, you're going to see a part from an old video, but it's going to show you how to move around in Blender. Don't mind that it's something different, or I might sound a little different on the video. It's the same information that you're going to be able to use in this video. I'm tired of having to go over again and again and again how to use the controls in Blender. So I'm just going to put in a part from an old video, and then we'll be back to show you what to do. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like when you first open up Blender. And this is Blender 2.79 that we're using to do this. Or if you use 2.76 or whatever, as long as it's not 2.70. I would suggest, like I said before, 2.76 or after. So we've opened it up. This is what you're going to see. You don't need any of this. So go over to File, Open, Nude Body. Now, once you've done that, to get rid of this, because you don't need this whatsoever, press N. Now, in my last video, I did a very in-depth how to move around in Blender. Do I want to do that in this video? Not really, but am I going to do it for you? Yes, I am. Because moving around in Blender, if you know how to do it, it makes it quite a lot easier, because in Blender the controls are not quite the same as how they are in other 3D programs that I use. So anyway, so in order to get the UV portion open, you want to go ahead and press Tab on your keyboard. If you don't want to press Tab on your keyboard, you can go down here and go to Edit Mode. If you don't want to do that, you can go over here and you can press this triangle with the 3 points. Those are the 3 different ways you can get the UV to show up. Now, first I'm going to rename this. I'm going to rename this to Nude. There. Now, I usually like to just press Tab. It's quick and it's easy. First things first, when we get over here, you notice it's lit up here and it's not lit up here. We want them to both be lit up and make the changes at the same time. Press this right here, keep UV and Edit Mode Mesh Selection in sync. Once you press that, what happens on one side happens on both. Now, what was I pressing to get everything to highlight? I was pressing A. Pressing A is going to get everything to highlight at once. I'm going to try to go through these controls as quickly as possible. So A highlights and deselects. So if you have it highlighted and you want to get rid of the highlight, press A. If you want to choose a portion of the grid, press B. You'll get this. Hold down your left click and you see that's what's been chosen. Deselect, press A. Say you get a point and oh my God, I have this point here. You've done that by accident. Go ahead and press the right click. It'll put it right back where it's supposed to go. Or say you have actually just done that and you really do not mean to do that. What you need to press is Control Z. Now say you wanted to redo what you just undid. Control Shift Z. But we don't want to do that. One thing I'll say is you do not want to move the sim mesh body or the nude out of place. You want to leave everything where it is, and we'll have to delete some later, but we want to leave the parts that we're leaving in place. Anyways, so up next, if you want to select something by kind of like drawing it in, if you will, press C. To make this circle smaller, scroll inward on your mouse. That'll make it real small. If you want to make it bigger, scroll out on your mouse, and this is what we'll have. It's so big you can't see it anymore. Now, if you want to get rid of it, if you press C and you, oh, I want to get rid of it, I can't get rid of it, press the right click on your mouse. Now, if we want to move something, let's say we want to move this, we don't really want to, but we want to move this out of the box. Press G, G is for grab. We can, you know, move it around. Put it back, right click. So, say we want to make it bigger. I'm going to select, press S. Do we really want to do that? No, but just for future, we'll, you know, it's good to know this. I will not go over these again. So just in case you don't know how to do this, if you do want to remember how to move around in Blender, I am going to timestamp each portion of this video so that you will know where to go. And if you need to refer back, I will refer back because I won't go over this again. But anyway, that's to size it up. S is to scale. Right click to put it back. If we want to scale only on the X axis, we're going to press SX. Only scale on the X axis. If we want to scale on the Y axis, SY. And again, to put it back, I'm just pressing the right click there. If we want to grab it, but only move it on the X axis, we're going to press GX. We want to grab it and only move it on the Y axis, we're going to press GY. And that's that. Now, zooming in is just using your middle scroller to zoom in and out. Moving around the plane, you're going to press inward on your middle scroller and just move it around. Over here is a little different. In the 3D editor, there's a way, this is like the default, and if you press 1 on your keyboard, it goes to the front perspective, as you see up here. It says front perspective. 2, well, let me get it out of whack. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1. And that is just me pressing the numbers on my keyboard. The little side numbers to the right on your keyboard, that's what those do in the 3D editor. Now, zooming out is zooming out, zooming in is zooming in. If we want to rotate over here, we're going to click in, press in with our middle scrolling and just rotate. If you want to move around the plane, there. If you want to move around the plane over here, we're going to go ahead and press Shift and then use our middle scrolling to move around. Now, there we go. That's the way I want it. Now, that's basically all of the ways that we can move things around in Blender. And like I said, this portion is specific to moving things around in Blender. Now, the next portion that we're going to do is actually starting to create our mesh. Okay, so now that you just looked at the controls of how to move around in Blender, let's go ahead and get started. Let's go to File, Open, Nude Body. Okay, to move that out of the way, I just pressed in. So next thing we need to do is go ahead and get our, we can rename this nude. So go over here, double click, NUDE, simple. Next thing we need to do is go over to File, Import, okay, File, Import, Wavefront OBJ. Wherever you saved your low poly, we do not want the high poly. The high poly probably won't even get in Blender right now, or it'll take all year. We need the low poly right now. So if it's pink and it looks weird, that's okay, y'all, because it's fine. If you're seeing this right here, don't worry, we're gonna fix that too. But the first thing that we need to do before we really can get started, we need to group all these groups together. To do that, click 1. Shift, hold down the shift button and click the rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. However many groups you have, go over to this empty space with your mouse, press Ctrl J. rename that. I'm going to rename it to WED 4. Go over here to File, and we're going to do the same thing we did. There is no such thing as the crackhead version of Blender, because all Blender is free from what I know, on the official website. And of course I'm going to leave a link in the description to get to Blender, just like I will with everything else, like I said before. But I'm going to name this as WED 4 IM for imported. You can save yours as something different if you want. But next we're going to go over here, press tab on your keyboard. So you can press tab on your keyboard. You can go down here, press edit mode. Or you can go over here and press this triangle. All of that will make this pull up in the UV editor area. Click this. That'll make it so much easier for you. So when you do something here, it'll happen here too. Now, this is the part where it's going to be a little bit different from what you've seen before. Remember when we were in Marvelous Designer and we did weld instead of unweld? That means that if you choose this, say you choose this sleeve here, or let's just say we don't choose that sleeve. Let's say we choose, if we choose any of this, if we choose like something over here, it's going to choose whatever it's connected to. So if I try to do that, it'll probably show whatever it's connected to over here. And that's fine. What we want to do right now though, we can try to do a quick fix real quick to get rid of all of this. Because if it's clipping here, it's going to clip in your game. So let's just press S. And that's not going to work. So let's go over here. And you can do this at a later time, which is actually what I think what we'll do. Because right now, we need to go over here. We need to go in solid mode. Solid is going to help us out a lot. Now, you see how this looks? You can press faces smooth and that will smooth it out. So let's go back, and this is what we have here. If you choose smooth, it makes it look so much better, you guys. Choose smooth. But if you don't want to, that's fine. Next thing we need to do, we'll forget about trying to size this up. Just follow along very closely to me. Get out of edit mode. Go over here to wedding dress or WED 4, whatever you named it. If you named it Apple, go over to Apple. Go to UV_0 under right here, and then UV maps. Plus, this is imperative, UV_1. That is imperative that you do that. So, that's been done. Now, let's see. We're going to go back into edit mode. And we've smoothed it out already. But now we're going to remove the doubles. So we're going to press W, remove doubles. That got rid of some of the foliage that you saw, but that's important too. So remove the doubles. Next thing we're going to go ahead and do is our data transfer. I like to do my data transfer here. So go out of edit mode, file, append, whatever you had as your reference, object. If you see all of this, choose all of that. What we're going to do, go ahead and get rid of bone shapes. Delete that. Go ahead and get rid of rig 001. Delete that. We don't need that. Go ahead and click on this one. Shift click all the way down until you get to the first one. Control J. Ref. And if I'm drinking water, it's because my throat hurts because I've been talking a lot. So just look past that, or I'll try to edit it out. Now that that's done, we're going to do the data transfer either way. Go over here to wedding, or whatever you named yours, add modifier, data transfer. This is important, guys. Click this block area, reference, face corner data, nearest face interpolated, UVs. Click on UVs. till it turns blue. Let it turn blue, not till it turns blue. Click on it, make sure it turns blue. All layers, UV1. It might take a little while, UV1. If you see this, that's fine. I think if it has more than 20,000 or even 17,000 polys, it's going to do that, and that's fine. So let's go ahead and all this looks like this. Don't worry about anything down here. Just apply. Might take a little while. That's fine. Now, to make sure you've done it right, go to the wedding dress, go to UV1, get in the edit mode. If it looks like this stretched out, you have done it correctly. Good. Now, that's fine. Go back to UV0. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's go ahead and fix the UVs over here. Let's fix these up a little bit. Let's unsee ref, which means we go over to ref and just press the I, and you're back to this. Now, to pick individually, let's make that middle part thin. So it's like this. Go over here, press faces. This will change, don't worry about it. It's perfectly fine. It's the exact same thing. Go over here to wherever you want to go. Press L on the one you want to move. So this is the train. L, and then just, as I showed you in that video before, G to move, R to rotate. And we're just basically fixing the UV so that what we're eventually going to have to do is combine wedding with nude, not ref. And when we do that, it'll actually make sense. And it won't be all willy-nilly all over the place. Like I said, I don't know what they were doing there, but it's fine. Honestly, it's fine. And we don't have to be too thorough because we're going to have to move these anyway. I just want to make sure that they're A, out of the box, and B, not turned the wrong direction, and C, not on top of each other. So, there. Now, go ahead and go to nude. Excuse me. Go to wed. Shift click nude. Control J. Go over here. I like to save this as, well, actually, what I like to do, press Control Z. Control Z is not working. It's fine, whatever. I like to save this as UV0. I like to say that as UV0 because they're connected. I should have saved it after I did that data transfer, but I didn't. I think it'll be fine though. I could extrude a hole, but I'm not going to close that hole. I think that's fine. You can't even see under it. Okay. Anyways. So, go ahead and now we're going to erase the parts of the nude that will not be able to be seen because the dress is covering it. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go back to like this. That's easier. We can basically get rid of the entire arm. Not the hands, but the arms. So, yeah, we can. X over here. Press X over there once you've selected that part or the part that you selected. And then click faces. And that'll delete that. And we can leave a little bit of the hand. Or we can delete most of that, honestly. I think that's fine. As long as you don't see orange over here. X faces. And then once you delete it, as long as you don't see any like holes and empty spaces, and I don't, so that's fine. Now we're gonna delete most of this body. Can be deleted. I think almost all of this can be deleted. I don't see any orange like that part. X faces, and then most of this can be deleted, probably majority. We don't want that. See this, we don't want to do that, so we need to go down a little bit more. X faces. I'm going to say this is UV1, and that's because we have deleted the nude. Now the next part is going to be saved as UV2 when I get it in place. Now we need our placement map. You know what? Fine. Okay. Let's just save again. There. Now, go ahead and let's go ahead and press A to select all. Open up your placement map, which is this map right here. Go ahead and select that, and then press SY.5. There, do that. That'll make it just a little bit easier for you to place the stuff. You're still gonna have to size it. That's just gonna make it easier for you. Now, anywhere you see top, you can place top. Anywhere you see bottom, you can place bottom. Don't place it in shoes, face, hat, hair, bracelet, any of that. And just move it over so it doesn't. And then go back to this, faces, when you do this, because this will make it a lot easier for you, because you can just press L and move on about your day. Okay, so I have everything placed where I want it. The only thing I really had to downsize was this, and that's fine. So let's go ahead and go to File, Save as UV2. And I save UV2 because now I have everything combined and sized and placed on the placement map. Now, and we also want to include the ref with that save. So turn the ref back on and then save again. Okay, and so now what we can do is, I think we can move on to Blender 2.70 so that we can go ahead and do the weight transfer. So just make sure to save that again. And then the next time we'll be in, you know what, no, I could just keep that as a part of this portion of the video. So let's go ahead and open up 2.7, oh, 2.70 was already open, darn it. Open up 2.70, go to File, Open, find your UV2, press A, drag this out in the middle, scroll over, go over to, press Ref. Well, first go to Weight Paint at the bottom, right here, Weight Paint, press Ref, press Nude. Why is it doing this? There we go. So, like I said, go into Weight Paint, press Ref, and then Shift Select Nude. Why is it? Okay, we're good. So Weight Paint, Ref, and then Shift Select Nude. Go over here to Tools, scroll down, Weight Transfer. Group is fine. Method, we can do nearest face or nearest vertex. Either one should be fine. I'm been doing Nair's Vertex, but Nair's face is probably fine as well. It really doesn't, it doesn't matter. It should be fine. So now that we've done that, you can delete this. Delete the ref. Go to your nude. How you'll know that it's been done right is this. Like if you see this color on the outside instead of no color at all, or trying to like poking out through the inside, you've done it right. But I usually like to check this, and then once I see this one, I know I've done it right. So go ahead, file, save as. I'm gonna save as WP. There. Now I'm gonna go back into Blender 2.79 and do the Vertex paint. You can do it in 7.0, but I like to do it in 7.9. Simply go over here again to Vertex paint. Click in this white, left click, hex, OOFFOO. Enter, paint, set vertex colors, file, save as, Vertex paint. Now, I'm going to go ahead, what I'm going to do now, let's go back in object mode and then go into edit mode. Remember how we had peakage earlier where it was peeking through? We're going to go ahead and try to fix that now. Before we import it, because like if we get out of edit mode, it's like you can still see that. We don't want that. So let's go ahead and let's actually go back to this. Press L on this. Whoops, press L on this. Shoot, and this. This is really just the last bit of tweaking that we're going to do to the mesh until we're done with the mesh itself, and then we can actually go into the substance painter and everything. But it's some very important steps that you'll need to follow between here and now. So while I'm tweaking the mesh, I'm going to fast forward because everybody could tweak the mesh at their own pace or to their liking. And then once I'm done with that, then I'll come back and show you the very important part we have to do next. Okay, y'all, I'm happy with that now. I'm happy with it. Let's go ahead and go into Sims 4 Studio. Let's go to File Main Menu. Let's go into our mesh, our thing that we started. And let's go to Meshes, Import. Whatever you save that is, import it as that. So that was VP. Let's say that it's VP. And let's let that load up. Now, here's some very important parts that we need to do now. Let's see here. So we have to go ahead and separate the body parts from our actual mesh. And to do that, let's make this bigger. We're going to go over here and we're going to just select all the body parts. Simply select all the body parts. Go over here, let's drag that back. In the empty space, press P, selection. And now they're separated. Now what we need to do is go over here, select all, and we can press X on that, and then we can press new. I'm going to do 2048, 4096. That's because I'm trying to do an HQ, but you can do 1024, 2048 if you're not trying to do HQ. And that's what's going to happen. Now, what we need to do now is very important. Click this plus on the rig, unclick all these eyes. If you see the head disappear, that's good. Unclick all the cameras, Go over here to lamp, click all the lamps, click all the arrows on the lamps, make sure all of the cameras are checked on the lamps. Unclick this rig camera. Now, what we're about to do is bake under AO for an ID map that we're going to have to do later. Go ahead and get out of edit mode, delete. And I guess you can add one. Go over here where it says bake. All of this is fine. Just go to margin 2 and then bake. And if that takes a little while, that's fine. What I suggest you do once before we don't even have to wait for it to bake. Go over here. Have a place where you're going to save all of the PNG files for this, because I do. I save it under SP textures because we need to use most of this in Substance Painter. Okay, new folder. And I'm going to put SP6. That's where I'm going to save all this stuff to. We can actually exit out of that though. Now that this has been done, this is great. If it looks like this, it is right. If it looks like there's random black spots, like not where the shading is, but if there's just random black spots, that means you probably didn't turn on all the lamps and you probably didn't turn off all the rig. Image, save as image. I'm gonna go to, and I'm gonna save this as ID map 1. ID map 1. PNG. And enter. Okay. Now, if you want to do a shadow map, this is not even really for an ID map. Go ahead and press bake. This is for a shadow map that we'll probably do later. If I even use a shadow map, which I might. File. Oh, wrong thing. Well, yeah, save this file, save this as bake or something that's not VP. Or press for save as for Substance Painter, something just not VP, because VP is this, which is done, and it looks good in here so far. Go ahead and save that. It looks crazy because we haven't put a texture on it. If it looks like this in Sims 4 Studio, you are good to go. But now back to this image, save as image. I usually save it as just ID map 2, even though it's not an ID map. But that's what I'm used to saving it as. So ID map 2, that's fine. Now, one thing we need to do, go back to nude, go to edit mode, go to UVs, export UV layout. Save it where you're saving everything else. Save it as UV layout. There we go. That is important because what we're about to do right now is go into GIMP, Photoshop, one or the other, either will work, and open that up. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to choose open with GIMP. And it's open. And this is what it should look like. It's kind of weird looking transparent thing. That's perfect. Go over here to image canvas size %, 50. This is imperative, y'all. Drag this up all the way till it's in this white box. Resize. Overwrite as UV layout. Because now what we need to go in here and do is go back into Blender. We need to go ahead and make sure we're selected all of this. Image, open image, UV layout. Go ahead and press S, Y, 2. SY2. Enter. And then go ahead, zoom in close to some of these vertices and push G, Y, and just match it up. This is important. This is very important because Substance Painter uses square UV shape, like a square UV, not a rectangle UV. So you have to have this. You have to have this. File, save as. You can still save it as bake, honestly. Just, that's fine. If you plan to bake textures and stuff here and then, that's cool. But just remember, this is a low poly. I save that. Next thing we want to do is go ahead and export. So go to File, Export, Wavefont OBJ, push selection only, undo apply modifiers. Where do I usually save these at? I'm gonna just save it in SP6. I don't mind right now. And then save it as whatever you want. And then export, and then give it a moment. And that's done. The next thing I'm gonna do is just check in the Sims real quick and make sure this looks normal and that this hemline is not way in her eyebrow or something silly. If that looks good, then we'll just go straight into Substance Painter. Okay guys, so right before we get into Substance Painter, I just wanted to get into the Sims real quick and make sure everything checked out, and praise the Lord, it looks good. And you may be wondering, what the hell, girl, this don't look good, this look a mess, we done messed up. No, we didn't. Like I said, since we did not put a texture on here yet, which is what we're about to do in just a second, it's going to look like this. It's either going to show her body or show this. And as you can see, this is where this is. This is where this is. And that's what it's showing right now. That's perfectly fine. This looks really good. I even like the way the train looks. I am very happy with this already, guys. Like, if you followed along with this and you're here, be proud of yourself. Even if you just let her walk around town like this. This is honestly, you've done a good job. And I'm even proud of myself with this one. I may go through here later and flip the normals and double it like at the bottom here. But we'll worry about that later. Right now, I'm happy with this. Let's go ahead and move into Substance Painter. I just wanted to make sure that this looked good. Getting into Substance Painter, this is what we're going to look like at first. This may look very confusing. If you just, keep going with me, this will look great in a few minutes. So let's go ahead and go to File, New. For the first time, if this is the first time doing this, make sure this says 2048. Make sure this says OpenGL. This should say nothing or not be checked. This should say use UV tile workflow. This should be checked. And then you should go here to select. Select whatever you just saved in Blender. So I think we saved ours in here. Wed for SP. And then OK. And this is what you should get when you open it. And you might be like, oh my God, yes. Now, you might also be wondering, how are we going to get all that detail back that we had in Zbrush? We sure are about to show you how to do that. But before I do that, let me tell you how to move around in this program. Zooming in and out is zooming in and out. Pressing Alt and the left mouse will get you to do this. Rotate. Pressing Alt and the middle scrolly will get you to do this, which is move the thing around. Okay. Now that we know that, let's get our details back. So go ahead and go over here to texture set settings. Scroll down till you see bake mesh maps. Now put this at 2048. Put this down to 5, 6, or 7 is usually fine. Let me see, what did I usually put it on? Because I write down. If you hear this paper, if you kept hearing this paper rustling around while I'm doing this, don't worry. That's just me because I wrote down what I do. Once I get a feel for what I'm doing and I like how I'm doing it, I write down my directions. So don't mind me. But anyways, yeah, it was 5. And then we're going to go over here. What we're going to choose from here is our high poly. Wherever you saved your high poly is wherever this needs to be. Let's see, did we save it under? I think we saved it under Zbrush projects. Let's see. Yep, high poly. Do that. Go down here, right here under this one. Put 2x2 or 4x4. I usually use 4x4. Next. Let's see. I think that's good. I think we're all good. Yeah, the rest of this is fine. Let me just check and make sure. Uncheck ID map, y'all. Uncheck, because I'm about to show y'all how to make your own. So uncheck that. The rest of this is fine. We're good. Bake selected texture. If you start seeing this, that means it's doing what it's supposed to do. We're gonna let that bake. We're gonna see what it looks like, and then I'm gonna show you how to make an ID map and what it does, because it can be a very, very, very helpful tool. And ID maps are great to me. So we're just gonna let this finish. If it takes a little while, that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly normal. Just let it do whatever it does. Ooh. Okay, press OK. And I even see my little darts that I put in it. Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna come through, but it did. It looked a little bit crazy because I did it twice, but that's all right. It could be worse. And you see we have our indentation here, our indentation there. You see this is more pronounced and that's more pronounced. You see the sleeves are more pronounced and the wrinkles. You can see the little wrinklage in the back. This looks really good right now, y'all, to me. You see the folds have more detail. So we have way more detail now that we have put our high poly mesh in here. Now what we need to do is make our ID map. Go into, I prefer GIMP. Open the first ID map template that we saved. And then open with whichever one you use. You can even use paint.net for this one. You can use regular paint for this one, Microsoft Paint. Because all we need to do, I like to make it a little bit bigger. Go to colorize. So colors, colorize. Turn it all the way white. Press OK. Go ahead. Now, whichever parts you would like to correspond to each other. So what I'm about to do, you're about to see what I'm finna do. Like red is usually, I use red, like super red. Get the paint bucket and color it in. So that's the back, that's the front. For these parts, I'll get blue. Or blue, there. Shoot, just go back. Color it in. For the sleeves, we can use pink. I like to use pink sometimes. Or that's a magenta-ish color. For the train, we can use orange. And then go ahead and halfen it like we did before. Because like I said, as you can go back into Substance Painter and see, this is a square, not a rectangle. So go up to image, canvas size, 50. Make that go to the middle. Overwrite ID map. How do we get it in there? Cool. Go to Substance Painter. Go to this. Click it and drag down here. Go to texture down here. Go to current session is what I usually choose. Current session. Import. We can either go over here and drag and drop, or you could have just clicked select ID map. And usually it'll show up, sometimes it doesn't. So that's fine. If it didn't show up for whatever reason, just click and drag. Now let's really get down to it. You have materials down here. You can download materials from the internet and use them. You can use what's already here. Some of these I have downloaded. Some of these I've made myself. And I'll show you how to make these myself. So I'm just basically, let's just say, even though this is a wedding dress, this wool is going to be a good example. Wool. We don't want a wool wedding dress, but we could just click and drag. And then we can even go over here. And there's a few different ways we can control this. We can scale it like this. We can scale it like this. That's kind of cute. I don't know why I like that. Anyway, we can rotate it however which way we want. We can offset it. We can do a lot, or we can do all of that from over here if we want. And then the undo, press Control Z. That's basically universal. We can do a lot of things. Let's see. I think it's not showing. There we go. So layers. Boy, is that a paint layer? Let's see. Did I add a paint layer? Apparently I did. You can add a paint layer by just going right here. Let me unclick that. Going over here and just adding that. You can add a fill layer. You can do a lot of things. Anyway, but you see how you can put that on there. But now I'm going to show you how to make your own textures. If you like that and that's what you want, go ahead and save it. You don't even have to change the color here. You can change the color in GIMP, paint.net. You can change the color in Photoshop. It doesn't really matter. You can change the color lots of different ways. But what I'm gonna go ahead and do, let's delete all of these. Let me show you one I made myself. One that I'm really in love with this one. Oh yeah, girl, I didn't even show you what the ID map does. I'm getting off task. Anyway, if you have an ID map, let's delete that. Say you want to choose this right here, this sparkly color. You only want to put it on here. Pick it, press Control, and then there you have it. ID map. So there. Now look. It's only there. And then of course, wherever you put it to correspond with that color, which is on the back. There. That's how the ID map works. But now, I'm going to show you how to make your own textures. Like I said, I'm proud of all the textures I made. If you see it say SP something something, that's me. I made that because, yeah. Anyway, let's just say this one. It's not going to be see-through mesh. The background of the mesh is white. The background of that lace is white. But let's just say I want that right here. Let's just say I want a little bit of anything. Let's just put it all over. There. And that's what we have. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to not texture settings. I'm going to go to properties. So you see I have a base color and I have a normal map. You can also choose, you can make maps for these, but I usually only make the base map and the normal map. Sometimes I might make a roughness or something, but I'm going to just leave it at these. So what I can do, I can make it, as you see, this is what the roughness does. This is what the metallic does. We're going to leave that alone. I like that. So I can scale it down to about there. That looks good to me. I like that. And like I said, we can change this color wherever we want. Because I forget, there's a way to change the color, but we're going to leave it how it is right now. Now, you might ask, how did you make this? I'll show you how I made it. I went online and I searched whatever I wanted. So if I want some more lace fabric, I'm just going to go Google lace fabric. Here goes a nice lace. I like that. It doesn't matter. Save image as. Don't be like me and be too picky. Save it as whatever you want. You need to make a normal map of this now. Go ahead and go into InJob. Open up InJob. File. Open. Whatever you just had. Go to Filter. Diffuse Height Map. Now this is where we have to be careful. If y'all hear my phone vibrating, that's okay. Anyway, as you'll be able to tell in a moment, we got to get this to where it looks normal. As normal as it can look. Yeah, I think I like this way. Yeah, that's good. Okay, press OK. Get it to where it's not too blurry, but it has enough detail. Filter, height map, normal map. Then I usually like to have my set. I like a pretty decent bump when I'm doing these. So we can just have it super harsh. Like, I like that. But I like to turn the blur up over it just a little bit. So it's not doing too much. Like this. And then press OK. File, save as. And then whatever you save yours as. As you can see, I like to be very organized with my stuff. Now, go into Substance Painter. Whatever you were on, undo it. Go ahead and go here. And wherever you just saved it at, click and drag down here. Add resources. Let's see, we're gonna go back and add the map you just made. Texture, texture, current session, import. And they're right there. Now go ahead and add another fill layer. Go to properties. Where it says base color, drag this one, the main one, to base color. Drag this bump and watch what's about to happen when I add this bump map, y'all. Or normal map to here. Look at that detail, how that happened. Now I'm gonna go over here and scale it some. I like that. I like that a lot. Anyways, now what we want to do is go to materials. Now we go over here where we were over here and right click, create material preset, and name it whatever you want. Right click on it, change the name. So SP277. And then do that. SP277. And now, every time you open this up, it'll be there. But now, like I said, I know this has been a long one, guys. Most of everything in here is going to be long because this is way more advanced than usual. Now, I'm kind of liking how this looks. I could kind of tweak it a little bit more. Now we're going to save this, save it regularly, and now we're going to go to File, Export import textures. Pick the right folder. Now there's a template. There's a tutorial that I actually bought, and she provided a template, and that's actually one of the ways I learned how to do this, along with some other things. But there's this tutorial, and this is the output template. Now, since I bought it, I'll leave a link in the description to her video and everything. It's going to be the condensed version because you have the long version to purchase. But anyways, and then we're going to go ahead and pick PNG 2048, transparent. And I think I usually do 7 for this. 7. And then put export. And there we go. It's been exported. The next thing we're going to do is get in GIMP and then in Photoshop to complete our normal map. And then we're going to show it and then we'll be done. Okay, y'all. So if you hear me sound like I'm chewing on something, I'm not eating. This is a throat lozenge because honestly, I've been talking for so long. It may not seem like it, but I've actually been talking a lot longer than how long this video is going to be. And I've been at this for hours now, so I'm chewing a throat. I mean, I'm not chewing. I got a throat lozenge, y'all, because my throat hurts from all the talking I've been doing. But I hope you've been able to follow along so far. And yeah, next thing we're going to do, go into the folder where you put the stuff at. And you're going to see this, 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 and this. Again, thanks to, I think her name is Amelina. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to mess it up. But shout out to her for doing a really great tutorial that I was able to follow along with, and then being able to provide me with a template for these so I wouldn't have to do it, which is I still use the same template. I've been having that tutorial for a while, but I still use that template just because it's easier. I'm gonna probably make my own though. You can make your own. Anyway, moving on. This and this all need to be open in GIMP or Photoshop, whichever one you're about to use. I use GIMP because I'm familiar with GIMP. And I really don't prefer Photoshop except to make bump maps in, which is we're gonna use this to we're gonna use Photoshop for this. If you don't have it, I'm sure there's a way you can do it in GIMP or maybe even paint.net, but I haven't figured it out. I have tried. I didn't know. Anyways, so here we are. Now, all 3 of these, we need to remove the background on. For this one, that's going to be a bird trying to do. But let's go ahead and start with this one. Let's go over here, right here to layers, layers here, right click, add alpha channel. Even add alpha channel on all of these, guys. Now come back to this one, grab this magic wand, click. You can see the outline, you can see it. If it's outlined properly, delete. You can overwrite that or save it. Go ahead. We've already added the alpha channel. Click. Oh, yeah, with the magic wand. Hold on. Is it? Hold on, let me see something. Oh, it's black right there. Okay. No, that's right. Click, delete. It was black right there anyways, so that's fine. We've already added the alpha channel. It's going to be a little difficult on this one sometimes because it doesn't always like to just do the outline. Since it's gray and the background is gray, sometimes you have to fight with it. Honestly, you have to fight with this more times than not. It's usually not a get it on the first try type of thing. So just keep running the magic wand across it until it does this. Thank God. Delete. Now go ahead, click this, drag this one on top first. Click this, drag this one on top next. And then click on that. Click on this one, the middle one. You can go ahead and overwrite these or save them depending on what program you're in, and exit out. We don't need them as long as they're on top of this. Especially overwrite this one so you don't have to have the pain of having to remove that background again. this scar changes. It's fine because you overwrote it. Now, what we need to go ahead and do is unsee this real quick. Unsee this one. Go to this one. And you're like, girl, why is this white on top of my color? You're about to see. Go to normal. Right here where it says mode. Go to multiply. You can either go to multiply, burn, or even, not soft light, linear burn. Which really puts, so I'm liking linear burn or multiply. I think I'm gonna go with linear burn. That really puts emphasis on a lot of this part. Let's see, multiply. That makes it a little lighter, but that gives it, you can see whichever one you want, whichever look you're going for. I think I'm going to go with linear burn for now. We'll see what it looks like. I could change that. This one. Now put the eye on it. This one, usually I always do soft light. And then let's go pick this and then click somewhere to make it stop floating. Now you can see the difference. It's subtle, but you can see what it does. Now go ahead, go to image because we need to make this big again. Go to sorry, canvas size 200, enter, drag it down, resize, file, overwrite, Sims 4 Studio, import, wherever it is. Ta-da! I like this. I like this quite a bit. Oh, you can still see the little darts. You can see the darts right there, right there. Look at us. We done outdid ourselves, y'all. Look at this. If you notice that it's tiling and that bothers you, you can go back and tweak it in Substance Painter. But I'm just trying to show you how to do this, and I have been at this for hours, literally. Like, I was supposed to make dinner tonight, and like I haven't even started because I've been on this. That cleavage is kind of low. Hopefully no nipples and areolas are showing on my Sims. I really hope not. But you know, it is what it is. So yeah, to change this color, right click, you'll get the dropper, pick the color from over here, and we can add a swatch. But the next thing we need to do, which is very important, which is going to make it look so good in the game. And I know we're supposed to be making this dress. Give me a moment. We'll get to making it white in a minute. But yes, so remember guys, that normals that you had, go in job, file, open, normals, just save it. Just save it. Push save as. And I would do it in my other folder, but I'm going to keep everything in SP6 so we know, so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. Literally just put normals again if you want. Save it as a bump map though. That's what we're trying to do. So that's what this does. And you see that detail? Look at that. That is so good. Anyways, here's where we have to go in Photoshop. File, open. This is the one. Under channels is where we need to be. Go ahead, go to red. Use this here. Select all. Control C. Go to alpha. Control V. Go to green. Control C. Go to red. Control V. Go to blue. Control V. This is how you make a bump map all the time in The Sims. Anyway, at all. Then click all the eyes. Oh shoot, it didn't do that. That's okay. That is okay. Make sure you select all of it. And let's try again. So Control C on red. Go to alpha, Control V. Go to green, Control C. Go to red, Control V. Go to blue, Control V. And then put them all together. File, save this as a DDS. Normals, DDS, SP6, save. Go over here, go to BC3 and press save. Go over here, normals, import, go to PNG down here and click DDS, and then there we go. Save. Now, remember when I said you could change the color later on? If you didn't like this pink, since I couldn't fit, I don't know how to change it in Substance Painter yet. I know that you can, I just don't know how to yet. Go ahead and go over here to colors and go to colorize. Right, make sure you're on the base color. On base color layer, and then colorize. So if we want that wedding dressy look, that ain't it. You really gotta tweak this stuff, y'all. If you go too far over here, you'll end up looking crazy. If you're too far down here, and then this sun is will just be black. Okay, and then override it. Pick whatever colors you want, but this is supposed to be a wedding dress for me, so. And then make sure you go back to PNG. Ah, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Okay, go right here and just use, like I always do, the word test that you found off Google so that it's easy to find when you first go into The Sims 4 to see it. You can add as many swatches as you want. So I'm just going to swatch away. And then the next time you see me, I will be showing you what this looks like in Sims 4, in cast, and then in the actual game. In game, it's going to look great. I promise you. If you followed along and followed the steps and you made the texture like I did, it's going to look really great. So just, that's the next thing you're going to see. I'm just going to skip past me swatching because it honestly is going to get boring. Okay, guys, one thing I want to show you real quick before I went ahead and showed you the end result. As you can see, I've been swatching. But I was like, let me go ahead and show them how to do LODS because I don't want to forget. So when you're doing LODS, basically it's the levels of detail in the game, and you'll see these three are not done. That just means when you zoom out in game, your mesh will not disappear. So in order to fix that, you want to lower the polys as you lower the LOD. Lower the poly as you lower the LOD. So anyway, if you don't remember which one you saved as this before when we were in Blender, go ahead and just export it now. Or if you remember, just open it up. Go to nude. Go over here to this wrench, add modifier, decimate. Now this is not the super correct way to do it, but it'll get the job done, trust me. And we're just going to, you know what? No, we're not gonna do that. I'm just gonna export it though. And there, VP. 0. And that's fine. I'm just going to do that because I just want to make sure for sure that it's the same one. I'm pretty sure it is, but life happens, you know. So go over here, file, open it up. Look at how good that looks, y'all. This is just how this looks in Blender. It might look more real in Blender than in the game. I don't know. We'll see. It's got that tiling going on, so. But like I said, you can do that, fix that in Substance Painter. Anyway, wrench, add modifier, decimate. And just slowly but surely go down. If you notice it's starting to look crazy, that's fine. That is so fine. Apply. File. Save as. LOD 1. While I am going to LOD 1 and importing, I'm going to go ahead, File, Open Recent, LOD 1, add modifier, decimate again. And this one can be pretty, like I said, if you notice it messing up, that's fine, because these are not the main LODs. Apply, File, Save As. LOD 2, File, let's see if that one is done. Nope. File, Open Recent, LOD 2, add modifier, decimate. And just take this to, there we go. Apply. If, like I said, if you see it messing up, it's honestly fine. Because you're probably never going to see it, unless you're just way zoomed out, which I don't see how it matters if you're in game this zoomed out. But anyway, File, Save As. And like I said, there's a much better way, and I might put the link in the description to how to do it the right way, because this is not by any means the right way, but this is the easiest way, and this is the way I've been doing it, and this is the way that it's been working for me. So once you've got LOD 3 saved, you can exit out of that and just import them all. And you'll notice as the polys are lower, it takes a lower time to import. But you just import them all, save, and then go about the day. As you see, that one was quick. And let's just lastly just do LOD 3. That shouldn't take very long. There it goes. We're done. Save. Okay, now I'm going to show you what it looks like in game. Okay, guys. So, I mean, we are done. This is what we look like in cast, and then of course I'll show you what we look like in game, which is going to look way better. But yeah, she looks good. Slight areola showing. I don't really mind it. I don't really care. But if you're going to post this somewhere and they have tight rules, then yeah, don't. You know, when you're in MD, you can make the neckline go up more, but Cheryl's neckline was down quite a bit. So anyways, there's that. There's this one, and I love this color. Look at how detailed that is. I hope that this screen capture is doing it justice. Is that skin sticking out? Don't worry, I'll fix that by myself later on in Blender. But either way, it looks really good. So I'm gonna take a few of these swatches to show you in Blender, not in Blender, in a game. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna put that one on there. Gonna show you that one. 1, 2, 3, and I guess I'll show you the white one. See. That one. There we go. I want to be that one. There. And let's go ahead and pull her up at her house. And that way you can see exactly how good it looks in the game. Because the first dress I ever made, I was in awe at myself. Not even because the dress was made so well and so great. I had to tweak the dress a lot in Blender because of the clipping. Because whenever you remesh in Z-Remesher, it for some reason it makes the mesh kind of smaller and it kind of clips a little bit. So you have to tweak that a lot. Don't worry, that can be fixed in Blender. But this is really just to show you how to make realistic textures. And there we go, y'all. Look. Let me kind of turn her around. Let's walk her over there. And then let's walk her like right here. So this is the pink one. And if you really like get close, you can see that detail is really like, it looks real. It looks, and then like that part at the back, that looks real. Or just like really good. It looks really good to me. I'm happy with this. That detail at the side, remember I made sure to put indentions in that side area. Okay, let's go ahead and change it to this one. Oh, look at that, guys. Oh, look at that. I don't know, is it just me? I like this a lot. Like I said, don't let areolas get in the way. Just it's okay. It's literally Sims areola, but hopefully that doesn't get this video flagged. But just zoom in. If you did like a lace material and you made the bump map correctly, look at the detail on this. Like, honestly, y'all, I am in love. Let's change it to the next color. Oh, green. Yes. Yes. It just looks good. Look at that folding. You can just see the, yes, the train. It's a sim, y'all, so the train may not lay down. Don't get discouraged. It's the Sims. I don't know how you could ever fix that. Change outfit. And I think this was the last one. I think the one before that was ivory, right? Yeah, that was ivory. This is white. Oh man, I am really in love with it. I am in love with this. So as you guys can see, this is, you know, also I made these walls, just so you know. I made these. Anyways, this is the finished product, and I really couldn't be happier with it. You can even see the darts right there. Like I said, I could just tweak that hole out in Blender and move along with that. I could even move this neckline up in Blender without having to do anything else in Marvelous, because I don't want to do anything else in Marvelous, really. So, yeah. But I just like how that train looks. Let's see how it looks when she walks. A little messed up, but that's okay. When she's standing still, it looks fine. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. I really hope this was helpful. I know this was a long one. Still, as of the recording of me recording this part, I don't know if I was going to break this up into parts or not. I might just try to do one 3.5, maybe 4 hour long video if I can condense it that far down, and speed it up that well. But I really do hope that you enjoyed it. Thanks so much again, you guys, for supporting my channel, and I really just hope this was helpful for you. I really do. I hope this was helpful. I really hope that yours turned out as, now I won't even say as good as mine, but I hope yours turned out and you were as happy with it as I am with mine. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much again. Like and share and subscribe for more of these. And y'all have a good one.